Hello and welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Right, what do I want to do today? Well, first of all, I just want to use this opportunity to let you guys know that I'm still alive, which you know, we were kind of in the unclear there. Yes, I am still alive. I am in a bit of trouble at the moment. Nothing too major. It's just that once I got my PC back, I noticed that it is... I did manage to figure out the USB problem, but I did find out that it runs hot. So on 30% load, the processor is at 92 degrees Celsius. That is a bit toasty. I tried to fix the problem myself, but I ran across a warranty seal while trying to get to the thermal paste, because I just assumed that they had forgotten to put on thermal paste. That's like the first thing that came to my mind. So we ran across a warranty seal and I was like, okay, I'm not going to touch that, not going to void the warranty, I'm just going to send it back and let them have it fixed. So if they want to be troubled with it, then so be it. The next thing is that, so I'm on my old computer now while I wait for them to fix my PC. Will take a while, but that's, you know, okay. The other thing is I'm going to have to move soon, so I'm not really keen on that. You know, you see all the nerd stuff back there, like drilling shelves and all that. I'm really not looking forward to that again, but I have to do it. And obviously that means that I have to move my entire VR setup, so I think, even if I get my PC back before my move date, I think the first VR stream is probably gonna be back, or not back, it's gonna be in the new apartment. So that's gonna be at least a month. I'm gonna try to keep the channel alive with some sea power, some U-boat. But the weight loss journey is a bit on hold at the moment, and since I've been a bit of stress lately, I've been doing a lot of takeout, and I think I've gained a lot of weight back, so that's not good. I mean, it's good for you guys. You're gonna experience the journey for longer. But you know, it's not the best then. Not the best, really. What else is there to talk about? Nothing much. Nothing much. Okay. So, shall we get into it? Okay, let's see. I'm gonna do a custom mission today, which is called Victor's, which is one that I built myself. But I didn't do much, let's be honest. What I did when I made this is I took the mission Charlie's and just moved the assets around a little bit. We can look into the mission of Charlie's for a second here. Maybe we can just play it real quick. So Charlie's is a very simple mission. Is you've got a little task force of more or less capable ASW ships, so anti-submarine warfare ships, and you hunt a group of 1 or 2 Soviet Charlie class submarines. And so then what I did is I changed the mission around to... Oh, look at that. On my mission, for some reason, the sentence just cuts off at this point. I don't know why. So we have... What is this? This is a Belknap class cruiser? Missile cruiser, yes. And we've got a Gearing class destroyer and a Oliver Hazard Perry, very famous class. Like, I don't know how many there are out there. Loads of them still in service today. The Spanish Armada still has some of them. Very prominent. You see them on the horizon, you immediately recognize it because of that ugly mast, that radar egg up there, and the very, very odd placement of the Otto Melara 76, which is on the top deck here for some reason. I mean, who wrote the law book that the main gun doesn't have to be in the front? Plus, it's a self-defense weapon nowadays, more than anything. Can I get some light? That's probably better. And so, somewhere in the vicinity here are submarines. There's a bit of merchant traffic around as well. Funnily enough, I noticed that if the enemy hits them with a torpedo and they sink, you get blamed for it. So that's an interesting thing. So that's the mission, and I've changed that around a little bit. First of all, I changed the class. First of all, I changed the mission date. It's like early 2000s. It's in 2003, lore-wise, it would have to be. Changed the assets so that because what I really wanted to do is I wanted to make a mission for the Sachsen class, well, frigate. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. Sachsen class frigate, and then the other two ships are the Lutyens class destroyers, which are essentially Adams class after they were sold off to the German Navy. Well, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make a mission using the F-124 Sachsen class frigate. And then I obviously had to change the enemies because the Charlie class submarine is no longer in service by 2003, so I just went for the first Soviet submarine that I found that is still in service today, and that was the Victor class.
7004 is classified. Neutral air.
And we've got a plane going overhead. Right. So, I'm not gonna just play this, I'm gonna go back to the main menu and we're gonna go into the custom one. That should be under here. And I'm also building on another one called Kilos, where I'm gonna overcomplicate a little more. You can find this on the workshop if you want to play it yourself. It's just called Victors. It's a single mission under the early 2000s or 2000s category. Yeah, okay. So, here we are. The Saxony class
New surface
frigate,
contact detected.
which is
Surface
mod.
contacts detected.
And we've got the Mulders and the Lutyens, which I chose both of them because they've got an umlaut in their name, and that's always fun for you guys to pronounce. So the Mulders is, well, destroyer is a bit of an odd term in naval historically, because it used to derive from torpedo boat destroyer, and that when torpedo boats came out of fashion, they used to become the what's it called? The submarine warfare, so they have ASW ships. And then at some point, I don't know why, the definition of destroyer was changed to mean that it is a ship, the smallest form of ship, smallest type of ship, that can still undertake operations by itself. So it is ASW capable, it is ASUW capable, anti-surface warfare capable, and it's anti-air capable. And then if you have a capability in all three of those warfare areas that exceed self-defense, then you can call your ship a destroyer. And so these guys are destroyers, but they are mainly anti-submarine, I would say, because they've got the beautiful ASROC system on the back, which is a capability that we no longer have. They've got two main guns, which, you know, in the missile age, those don't really count anymore. They're more for self-defense. You don't really do pass combat against another ship, passing combat. And then the missile capability of this ship is the launcher in the back here. And that obviously, it's not enough by itself.
New air contact detected.
These vessels are not very capable. Well, they might have been capable when the Adams destroyer was first conceptualized, but it is no longer.
Track 7004
I think at the time that the German Navy got their hands on them,
Neutral air.
at the time that the German Navy got their hand on them, they were already obsolete. Because what happens is this launcher gets fed a missile from underneath, from below deck. It warms it on the rail. It shoots it into the air. And if you want to oversaturate an enemy's defense grid, this is not enough. The speed in which you fire a missile out of this is laughable. Plus, you've got like direct. I don't know what they're called in English, to be honest. Like you direct a fire control radar, I think. You've got 2 fire control radars so that this thing can track and attack 2 incoming threats at the same time.
Contact faded.
So that's, you know, we're looking in the past here. This is like 80s, and thing is, we decommissioned these ships probably a lot later than the US Navy did. And one of them, which is this one, E-186, is currently in the Naval Museum in Wilhelmshaven. So you can still go and have a look at them. Well, it's blast from the past. Really, you can look around in them, and they are very, very old. The age is really telling. But they have they had a lovely little, like this little shack here where they had like tools for the ASRock launcher maintenance. They called it the ASRock Cafe, and they painted a logo on there with the Hard Rock Cafe style. Nice little detail there. Not in the game, obviously, but. So we got 2 of those, the Lutyens and the Mulders. I think the last one, I don't know if it was the Mulders, but the last one of these was decommissioned in 2003. And oh no, 2002, 2001, something like that, early 2000s. And the first one of these, of the Sachsen class, was commissioned or put into service 2003. Now these did not replace the Lutyens class. These replaced the what was it? Another class. So these are mostly capable at AAW. And so the replacements for these were already in service, which I think were either the 122 class or the 123 class. I think the 123 class. So funnily enough, these 2, like the Hamburg and the Mulders, both of these ships, are often docked in the same port in Wilhelmshaven, but they were never on an operation together. They were never in any sort of engagement together, or in any operation or training exercise, whatever, you name it, because they did not serve in the same time. The only reason they're docked in the same port occasionally is when the Hamburg is at home and the Mulders is there forever because she's now a museum. So you know that this whole so close yet so far away situation that's going on here, and I just wanted to make a mission where they're both together, because in an alternate timeline, the Saxon class could have been pushed into service early, or their service could have been prolonged, just to because the Cold War went hot, stuff like that. Possibilities for that are literally endless, so I don't really mind that historical inaccuracy there. Yeah, so we have enemy submarines coming in. We don't know where they are, and we just know that they are the, at this point, very, very aged Victor class. So the first thing we want to do, obviously, is we want to get a helo airborne, as that's always what we do. Now, we would be able, the helo would be a very good anti-submarine force multiplier if it had a dipping sonar, which we don't have, but in this game we do. So there's a few issues. I'm just going to point that out before someone points it out in chat. There's a few issues with this mod. One of them is that somewhere in front of the APAR tower there's smoke rising. I don't know where that comes from, but it is there. So no idea how that happened, but yeah, it's not that bad. It's a mod. I'm sure it'll get fixed at some point. I'm sure. So that prepares to launch. In the same time, we can. Well, we're all on MCON. So the Mulders is just gonna turn on her radars.
Radar eye. Multiple
So that,
air.
yeah, there we go.
Contacts detected.
When there's a noise, no, that's a radar. Okay. And then we're gonna
Turn to
do
course.
a little
2. Ahead 1/3. Maneuvering eye.
sound check, hydrophone check. Helo's airborne, very nice.
Roger. Turn.
send him to 500
Go
feet.
to altitude 500.
And you can also visually ID that radar contact. We're out for subs, we don't expect surface ships, but you know, you never know. So the Mulders can hear nothing. We've got 2 radar contacts, we might as well check them out. Yeah. Okay, in that case, return to formation.
Returning to formation.
I should really put in a victory marker that if you reach a certain area, you win regardless. Because the submarines are hunting us, and even if we don't find them, when we just make it out of the area, that should count as a victory. But I'm not really... The thing is, I'm not that experienced with mission creation and all that, so... I'm just happy having a mission that's working. Basically, that's my first mission. The very first mission that I ever did is not visible on the workshop, and I have never figured out why. Honestly, that was a problem with this mission as well, but I've figured it out now. So maybe I'll relaunch my first ever mission. Now, and I did choose the Hamburg, obviously, because I spent half a year of my life on the Hamburg. Which was... here? And basically what we did with the carrier strike group with the Americans was that essentially, where's Afghanistan? Somewhere around here. Basically the idea was, oh, whoopsie doopsie, no, we're not going there. Not today.
Turn to course.
The idea was that the Americans sent their fighters over the Iranian airspace into Afghanistan.
Neutral, merchant.
But at a height which is no longer considered airspace. So it was basically just to, you know, make sure that they understand the international law. So we have no contact yet. Now in this game with the mod, the Sea Lynx has a dipping sonar to mark 46 torpedoes, and that is obviously a great force multiplier to the frigate itself, because well, a hull-mounted sonar is all that she has, and you know, you never really trust a hull-mounted sonar. Although I have to say, with this model, the hull-mounted sonar is insanely good, but that's obviously because it competes against other 80s technology. I'm sure if I put a highly modern submarine in this, it's not going to be able to detect it, probably. Oh, it might actually help if on YouTube the stream was public and not unlisted. That would help. Nice. Yeah, you can tell that I haven't done this for a while. So this contact has been VID'd. It is a British, the SS Botany Bay. Oh, that's a Star Trek reference. I got one more contact over here,
Roger. Turn
and that's almost at the end of the range, so we might want to get our second helo airborne. Oh, I can tell.
Hostile submerged submarine. Contacts detected.
Torpedoes in the water. Right, Mulders,
Turn to course. 3.
immediately
Ahead
get
flank.
out of here.
Maneuvering eye.
And the task force itself will change
Turn to
course
course.
south
2.
and also
Ahead
flank.
Maneuvering eye. Turn to course. 3. Ahead flank.
And you're gonna drop a
Decoy
noisemaker.
out.
Also a piece of lost technology. No one has noisemakers anymore. Okay.
Roger. Turn 003.
So VIDing this radar contact over there has just completely lost its priority.
009.
We're gonna head north and gonna use the dipping sonar from this helo to track those torpedoes. And also, considering that we know those torpedoes are here and they're probably going there, the enemy submarine will be somewhere on this line. Oh, maybe move my camera a little bit so you can see the map better. There we go.
On state. Roger. Go to altitude 20. New
Get him down to
submerged
the ground.
submarine. Contact detected.
Uh-huh. How do we find him? Lutyens with passive sonar has got him. Okay.
Lower the VDS transducer. Sonar eye.
Plus the Lutyens is stationary because she's waiting for the Hamburg to turn. Yeah, okay. Makes sense. Second helo is airborne. Great.
Roger. Turn 280.
Immediately make your way over there.
Roger. Turn 27.
You're gonna recover your
Recover the VDS
dipping sonar.
transducer. Roger.
And you're
Turn
gonna dip
27.
on the last known location of that submarine. Don't want him to get away. And these are wake-homing torpedoes, yes. Okay, so not really a threat because we saw them a mile away. Well, not a mile. How far actually? 14 miles, yeah. Absolutely no issue. So the reason I sent Meldas north, away from the task force, is I'm gonna do a double-pronged attack. They cannot really escape if I encircle them completely. So the task force is gonna dip south, and the Meldas is gonna, once the torpedoes are evaded, which is pretty much now, it's gonna head straight west and try to engage the submarine with ASROC.
Track 7009 is classified. Hostile submerged submarine.
Yeah, we could have figured that, since there was torpedoes coming from it.
Roger, roger. Turn 277.
That's still good to have the official confirmation there.
Turn
Come
to
on.
course.
Get going.
Ahead flank. Maneuvering eye.
Actually, we can probably edit the formation and move the Lutyens over to the other side. And then Meldas over here. But Meldas is detached, so...
Turn to course. 2. Turn to course. 3, 1, 2.
And
Helm
then
line.
we return to formation.
Returning to station.
There we go.
Ahead full. Maneuvering eye.
Yeah, now we've lost contact to these because they are now... Meldas, Lutyens is now on the move again.
On station.
Right.
Lower the VDS transducer. Sonar eye.
It's also funny, I've been in the military for 12 years in the Navy and I've never heard the term VDS transducer. I didn't even know what a transducer was. I had to Google that. We just called those things dipping sonars. So, no contact on him.
Transmit active sonar.
There we go.
Sonar eye.
And there he is. Active return, semi-small.
Roger. Turn.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna drop both of those torpedoes on him, and then they're gonna switch positions. So this one is gonna become the dipping, the sonar dipper, and the other one's gonna retract it in order to fire his own torpedoes at him.
Ahead flank. Turn to course. 272. Helm
Meldas
eye.
can turn towards the threat now. We'll maintain a very high speed because we still want to get out of the firing range, out of the firing line of those torpedoes that are already on the way. I'm gonna try and hit them from the stern.
277.
Maybe they won't notice the torpedoes coming in then. I don't know if these things have code arrays. Honestly, do not know. Yep, Elo just passed the torpedoes. Where is it? South? Well, in the west. Can I see the helo? No.
Roger, turn 29. Roger,
It's
turn
turning.
273. Roger, go to altitude 200. Surface search on. Radar eye. Roger, turn, turn 240.
Little hook. And there's another helo. And engage track 7. Oh,
Engaging track 70. Whip it away. Roger.
Nope, you're
turn
not going to go home.
002.
I still need you here.
On station.
He's there, very good. People
Lower
are
the
the
VDS
VDS transducer.
Sonar eye.
That's a great word. And as it breaks the surface. Active.
Transmit active sonar. Sonar eye. Recover the VDS transducer. Sonar eye.
Right, these will obviously have gone towards Mulder's. The Mulder's is gonna do another
Turn to course. 333.
Evade.
Hell my. Roger, go to altitude 200. Roger, turn. Contact faded. Track 70. Whip it away.
and 2 more torpedoes in the last known location.
RTV.
Now you will RTV because we need more torpedoes in the air here.
Hit track
Oh.
7009.
Nice one. Maybe the Mulders will not be necessary here.
Contact faded. Track 701. Hit track.
There we go.
7009.
Can we get another? Now 2 torpedoes is rarely something that anything survives to, but it's possible. They're both in the same compartment and it's an compartment that's not essential. A sub might survive this. So I'm not gonna send the Mulders back home just yet.
Hit track.
3 on the other hand becomes more and more rare. And we got a notification that we destroyed it. Victor is sunk among a sea of noisemakers which don't do anything against my torpedoes because they are not waycoming. You know, AI will be AI.
Hit track.
Another hit.
7009.
Yeah, I think we can assume that this thing's dead. Okay, so recover the dipping sonar and make your height 200. And then halfway to the Mulders, I'm just gonna have a quick dip to find out whether or not there's more torpedoes on the way to her. Also, we can see an oil slick. We can assume a confirmed kill. 3 detonations in the same area plus a oil slick is a good indicator that that thing's gone. Nice! So, but the mission's not over yet, so there's more. So in that case,
I had
one turret. Let's find out whether or not there's
turn to course.
more
2.
threats.
Ahead flank.
Maybe we find only we find torpedoes.
Multiple hostile.
Yes, we
submerged
do.
Submarine. Contacts detected.
But they are on a... Oh, they're still on the old trajectory, so...
Contact
basically
faded.
fired both of their
Track
torpedoes probably at the same time.
706.
So somewhere on that line,
Turn to course.
there is another
1.
shooter.
Turn to course. 2. 7. Turn to course. 2. Contact faded. Track 70.
not good.
Contact faded.
So that's...
70. Turn to course. 2. 6. 2. Helm. Roger.
We're still gonna do that.
0. 8.
A
Roger.
little dip.
Turn 0. 8. 8.
Find out if the Mulder is safe or whether or not she can turn south. Because that's the other thing that I'm afraid of. If I send her home, she might run into the torpedoes that were just fired in her direction.
Turn to course. 2. 6. 9. Helm aye.
So then this helicopter will need new ammunition. And then we're going to send it to hunt that submarine down there. Actually, we might detach the Lutyens.
Turn to course. Ahead flank.
Yeah,
Maneuvering
let the
aye.
Lutyens take care of that down here. And Hamburg is just gonna maintain a very slow speed in order for her passive sonar to pick up threats. Because like I said, the enemy submarines are very, very old at this point, and the tech on this ship alone is probably enough to get it. Alright, he's on his final approach, very good. Very good indeed. .33 knots as well, man. We don't have ships that can go that fast anymore. I think they still had steam turbines, but the diesel fueled, obviously. We had like funny service designations as like boiler master and stuff like that. Or master boiler, no, boiler master. Yeah, different times. Also, I want to say the soundtrack of Seafowl is brilliant. Very nice. First links us back home.
On station. Roger, go to altitude 20.
And you may commence dipping.
Lower the VDS transducer. Sonar eye.
Right, one torpedo is right there. That's it. Okay, so we can turn
course.
towards them a little bit.
4, 5.
And then once those torpedoes have passed us, we'll relocate or return to station. Another wake-holding torpedo. So we have a pretty good idea at where that submarine is.
Turn to course 238. Hell my.
So we're going to do a little
Turn to
sidestep.
course 23. Turn to course 233. Turn to course
You guys are not going to return to
243.
station. That's a bit annoying that ships that I have detached momentarily from the formation, when I change the course of the lead ship, all of them return to station, which is not something that I want. Maybe there's a better way to do this, but I haven't figured it out yet. I at least want to use ASRock once, because that, to me, that is such a cool weapon system. I'm amazed by the low range of it. Like 6 miles is it's not that impressive. But the idea of shooting the rocket and then that rocket turns into a torpedo and then that torpedo has an active sonar warhead or a seeker head, brilliant. And we don't have that anymore. Which is why, like, there's a lot of talk about the Sachsen class or the modern German frigates being actually being destroyers, but they're not called destroyers because the politicians thought that destroyer sounds so evil, and you know, especially Germans with the history and all that, they want to be the friendly neighborhood navy and not an evil world conquering navy, so they called them frigates. That is utter nonsense to me, because this thing is in no way a destroyer. Like I said earlier, a destroyer is the smallest ship that can do operations by itself, so it has to kind of do all warfare areas except for anti-mine warfare. And the Sachsen class cannot do ASW. It can't. Because everything that it has in terms of ASW capabilities is its hull-mounted sonar, which is not good. Let's put it that way. And then we have a triple launcher on either side that can't be reloaded at sea. It has to be reloaded in port from the outside with a crane. So we've got six torpedoes, 2 on each side. And so if you think you can do a proper submarine hunt with that, then I can't help you. We obviously have our torpedoes, which can also carry torpedoes, and a dipping sonar, but the thing is, the German Navy doesn't have dipping sonars. So the entire idea of it is ASW capable because it has those helicopters, that goes immediately out the window. So this is the ASW capabilities of the Sachsen class are self-defense at best, and that's why I don't think she's a queen of all 3 warfare areas, and therefore she's not a destroyer. That's a frigate. This is an anti-air missile frigate. That's what it is. Not a destroyer. And this is like an urban legend that goes around in the Navy. Like, I think 100% of, or let's say 90% of German military members believe that these things are only not called destroyers because the politicians didn't want it. And it's simply false. Because why? That's the thing. Like, these ships replaced destroyers. We already had destroyers in the fleet. Why would they all of a sudden have a problem with the term destroyer? It's just that warfare has changed to a point that these frigates have a very, very vast displacement, which used to be one of the categories to make a ship a destroyer. Today that's not really that relevant anymore. Like, if you hear this rumor, these are actually destroyers. No, they're not. This is like the anti-ship capability of all of our frigates is pretty much the same. We've got 8 harpoons on the back here. On the 123 class, the Brandenburg class, that used to be MM38 Exocet. Now it's all harpoon. So yeah, also not that great because you're not gonna overwhelm a defense grid with 8 harpoon. Yeah, and I mean, you could also fire the ESSMs, but I mean, range 30 miles. I don't think you want to do that. Yeah. So where this ship excels is anti-air. 24 SM2s, and then 32 SSMs, ESSMs. This ship is an air defender. That's what it is. This phased array up here is brilliant. It can each of these can track a large number of enemy fighters. I don't know if I can tell the exact number. I don't know if that's classified or not, but it is a lot more. That I can say that it's a lot more than the 2 that these dudes can have with
Track 701.
I forgot the word again. I just said it earlier. Fire control radar. There we go.
Turn to course.
So now we can head south.
182. Hell my.
You've evaded that torpedo. Brilliant. Can we have our helo back? No. It needs a quarter of an hour to reload. So, Lutyens, bring your broadside to bear. And also ahead 1/3.
Maneuvering eye.
And turn on active sonar.
Transmit active sonar.
And there she is.
Submerged submarine. Contact detected.
Right where we expected her to be. Brilliant.
2. Hell my. Ahead standard. Maneuvering eye.
Now we know that this is a hostile. We can deduce that from the fact that there's enemy torpedoes coming from it. So that's good enough for me. I don't know about you. And contact faded, yes, because we built up steam a little bit here. And she's in range, brilliant. Okay, so once it brings the launcher to bear, we're gonna slow down the speed and then send her some presents. And the same goes for the 123 class. When they built them, they noticed that the buoyancy of it is affected by the large VLS system, so they halved it. So that cuts the AAW capability of that ship pretty much in half. Also, it doesn't have that fancy radar up top. So that the 123 class has AAW as a kind of self-defense thing, and her main thing is ASW. The 123 class has like torpedo rooms where they launch torpedoes, and they can launch 1 torpedo every 2 minutes. With that, you can do a proper ASW, not with this. So neither of them are destroyers. 123 class is an ASW frigate, this is an AAW frigate. Together they can do some shit. By themselves, a prolonged operation, no. Absolutely not. So, 2/3. Can we hear them then? Nope, 1/3.
Ahead 1/3. Maneuvering eye.
There she is. Right, send 2.
Engaging track 7. Whip it away. Track
And send 2 more, a bit shorter. Look at that. What a brilliant weapon system. That we no longer have. I honestly don't know why. Because the great thing about ASRock, obviously, is the torpedo drops in next to the sub, and at the point where the sub notices that there's a torpedo coming for it, it's already too late. See, like they just launched the torpedo and I've immediately tracked it, so this is not going to be a danger for my
Turn to
Lutyens.
course 259. Hell my.
Once these things drop into the sea, we don't have to track it anymore anyway, because then it's just going to be busy with evading these torpedoes. So at that point I'm going to increase speed of the Lutyens to make sure that she gets away from those torpedoes. Not before that though.
Contact faded. Track 7019.
Oof. There we go. And noisemakers dropped. They noticed the torpedo. And they are probably not very happy about it.
Hit track.
There we go.
7021.
ASRock is brilliant. Okay, so now flank and drop noisemaker. Because these away-coming torpedoes, they are actually affected by noisemakers.
Contact faded. Track 7021.
They've already locked on as well, so this sub is doomed. I'm actually kind of surprised. I did put in a whale.
Track 7021.
They're nowhere to be seen.
Contact faded.
Yeah, four torpedo hits. I don't think
7021.
there's anything we need to worry about here.
Returning to station.
Right, let's edit this formation. You can stay on the other side. And the Lutyens goes back over here. Except she doesn't.
Turn
Because
to
she's
course.
still hunting a
2,
submarine.
3. Turn to course 261. Hell
No,
high.
no.
Ahead flank.
Keep
Maneuvering
going.
eye. Contact faded. Track 7021.
Is that going to be a problem? Yes, it is.
Track 7021 is classified. Hostile submerged submarine.
Ah, there we go. She's gone. And their mission still not over. So there's one more. Or two more, who knows? Well, I know, because 3 is the maximum, but I built this mission after all. That's the only problem. You build a really cool mission and then nothing in it can surprise you because you built it. You know it. And you can surprise yourself a little bit by putting in like variables like this group has a spawn chance of 60% or something, which is what I did. One of them has 100% and the other two groups have 60%. So yeah, that's where we're at. That was actually very close.
Ahead full. Maneuvering eye. Ahead 2/3. Ahead 1/3. Maneuvering eye.
Still
Contact
pinging away on his
faded.
sonar here.
Track 7022.
Okay. Oh, the other helo. Hang on.
Recover the VDS transducer. Sonar eye. Roger. Go to altitude 2.
What about our first helo? 7 minutes 44. Okay. We all know brakes and enemy fire are for reloading, so that's what we're gonna do. And get rid of the lines here because both of those
Roger.
subs are gone.
6, 6.
And orders RTB.
Roger, RTB.
Home you go. The sound is very accurate. That is what ships sound like today. Right, okay. So there's no more threats coming from here. Did it lock onto the wreck? No. That's already on the bottom of the sea. Nice! Okay.
Ahead 1/3. Maneuvering aye.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna miss. Oh, I don't get the weapon seekers for them? Ah. Okay. Not a problem. Yeah, you can return to formation as well.
Returning to station.
And
Secure active sonar.
we don't need to ping away our location all the time. You're our air guard and sea guard, that's fine. And then you're still at MCON, just listening in on your passive sonar. Brilliant. Brilliant. He's nearly home. Very good. And the other helo still needs 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Okay. That's okay. Yeah, that's a bit of an issue with the second smoke column rising. Even the first smoke column rising is already a bit of a problem. Modern ships don't really have smoke columns anymore. I mean, it's very light, but still. Oh, I think my neighbor is making pasta. Smell it. Making me hungry now.
Roger. Turn 0.
Yeah, he's the other thing.
Roger, RTB.
Like the helos are a bit bugged at sometimes. I'm ordering him to RTB and he doesn't want to do it. It's not perfect. Still a mod.
Roger. Turn 0, 5, 7.
And then once the other one is airborne again, then it'll work. Oh, might as well make use of him.
Contact faded. Track 7022.
And drop his dipping sonar here.
Lower the VDS
Although
transducer.
it's not going to detect
Sonar eye.
anything.
Transmit active sonar. Sonar eye.
Yeah, this hull-mounted sonar is insane. Honestly, I can't even tell you whether or not that's accurate. Not because I don't think I'm at liberty to say, but rather that I just don't know. I don't know the ranges of our sonar. Like, ASW is not something that I've ever been in contact with. 50 kilometers passive range, 12 kilometers active range. I have no idea. Maybe. And then obviously, like, both of these ranges, especially the passive range, is obviously affected largely or a lot by the ship's internal noise. So not just the own engine, but the internal stuff. Like if you've got a washing machine in the back, and that thing, like the rubber insulation on the bottom of it has failed, and it's just rattling against the hull, creating internal noise. That's going to affect the range of the sonar. And, you know, washing machine is a bad example when you've got fucking diesel-electric turbines rattling in there. You know, a broken engine mount on that will immediately ruin your range. Like, this is the... When playing games like this is always, like, what you have to keep in mind. Where is it? Hold on, it's under there. There, that's the factory range. Like, that's what the car dealer says the MPG is. You know, it's never gonna be that. It's always gonna be worse than it, especially the way I drive. This is the optimal. It's never gonna be that. Like, I liked, for example, Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. They had the floors system where ships came out of the shipyard and they had floors. Like, their hull was supposed to displace this and that much water, but because they were inaccuracy in the metallurgy, it actually weighed a little more. Stuff like that. So the guns were supposed to be this and that accurate, but they had a flaw that they were 1.2% less accurate than that. Stuff like that. I liked that a lot. That was a good system. Unfortunately, Dreadnoughts did not. You know, it's dead. They're not keeping up to date for that. Right, 33 seconds until we get our helo back. Which we're gonna need because there's the third submarine somewhere and we haven't picked it up yet, and that is a bad sign. Oh! There has been a patch to this mod. It says HA for Hamburg on the back. It used to just say SN on all three of them. Well then, if you're gonna update stuff like that, we're gonna need the nameplates on here, and we're gonna need the seagoing flag, mate. If you're watching, I'm waiting for the flag to be added. Right, helo's back. Let's launch it. And also that hangar gate there. Also, that's not the way it folds, but you know, that's absolute minute detail. It folds together like this. You know, doesn't matter.
Contact faded. Track 7022.
Legends, do you want to maybe get back to the station?
0. Ahead full. Maneuvering aye. Returning to station.
What are you doing? Is that too close, maybe?
Turn to course.
Okay, we're gonna do it manually. That's fine.
Full. Maneuvering aye.
That's absolutely fine by me.
Contact faded. Track 7022.
Now, where is our third friendo? Well, not friend, but the opposite actually. Right, you're launching. Excellent. Recover your dipping
Recover the
sonar.
VDS transducer. Sonar aye. Roger. Turn 343.
And come on. Man, like deploying and recovering the dipping sonar takes a long time. It's crazy. Well, it's not crazy. It's a very, very, very long line.
Roger. Go 10. Roger. Turn 264.
Right, there we are. And RTB.
Roger. RTB.
He's immediately in final approach. Right, so we had, let's look at this. Two submarines like there. We came from, whoop,
Turn. Roger. Turn. Roger.
we came in from like this. So one came from the south to shoot at us, one came from the northwest. Like I would assume the third one would be like here, here somewhere, maybe even a bit further north. Yeah, we did do a little dip southward, so maybe somewhere there.
Roger. Turn 016.
Which again is unfair because I built the mission. I have a rough estimation of where they might be. Look at him go!
That's standard. Maneuvering eye.
Okay. Very good. Right, performing air ops still, but she did increase her speed, so that doesn't mean that they're completely out of the action for a while if they do that. The worst thing that can happen is torpedo inbound on short range while you're doing air ops, deck landing or taking off. That's an issue. Like IRL, obviously you have procedures for that. You immediately give red deck and the helo has to do another round until the ship's safe. But in this game, once they're on final approach, there's nothing you can do. That's a bit of an issue. Oh, you can turn on your radar, by the way.
Surface search on. Radar eye.
Also, I think the Sea Lynx is a very good looking helicopter. I like that. I like the looks of it. I think it's the only one we have. Like the NH-90 is not legal for deck landing yet because it's too heavy. I think the Sea King can't do it. I think the Sea King can land on the big supply ships that we have, but it doesn't fit in the hangar. So the name Sea King doesn't really apply. Not in my navy, at least. And on station. And drop.
On state, roger. Go to altitude 20.
And we're gonna deploy our dipping sonar above the thermal layer.
Lower the VDS transducer.
And already set to active. Beautiful. And doesn't seem like there's anything around. Now, thing is, with that thing, the dipping sonar, there we go, has a range of 6 kilometers, so 3 miles, approximately. So let's quickly put in a circle of miles. Yeah, you can see that the amount of area that we cover with each dip is not that big.
Roger. Turn 281.
So we're just gonna have him jump from area to area, perform singular dips until we find something. And we're also gonna mark off the area that we already have dipped in order to maintain our overview of the situation. Like, this is one of the funniest things ever, that the English language doesn't have a word for that. In German it's Lagebild, one simple word. In English it's overview of the situation. I suppose there's probably an acronym for that.
Roger, go to altitude 200.
So we're gonna just drop a little 3-mile circle down here. There we go, we figured that out. And then I want to have another 3-mile circle. Like this, and we're gonna dip
Roger,
right there.
turn 289.
And that way we're gonna dramatically reduce the area where the boat is still possible, where the submarine is still possible to be. Where it's still possible for the submarine to be. There we go. Words are hard. You have to bear with me sometimes. Right, okay. Lutyens is coming in. Where were we? There we go. Return to formation.
Returning to station.
Mulder's is nearly on station, and the Hamburg is at 6.4 knots. We can go ahead,
Ahead
standard.
standard. Maneuvering eye.
Maybe we can even get back on our old course line. There we are. Nearly there. And we're
Roger,
up.
go to altitude 20. On station.
And deploy.
Lower the VDS transducer. Sonar eye.
Nothing here. Let's let him search for a while. This doesn't necessarily come in on the first ping. And he needs a quarter of an hour to reload or refuel and rearm this helicopter. Which is, you know, I think that it's quicker than that. And also, you would usually do this on deck. If you know the helo is going to take off again, you just need to strap on two new torpedoes. You'd strap it down on the grate here, and you'd keep it on the deck. If it's the last flight of the day, then you, obviously, yeah, you put it in. But even, mate, even if you're if you're in the Mediterranean or something, and you know the weather's gonna hold for the next 5 days, and the helo is gonna take off at 6 a.m. in the morning, you might as well leave it on the deck overnight. Right, nothing here, I would say. So in that case, create another 3-mile circle. Like this, and then later we'll have to close in the little spaces in between. So, recover,
the VDS transducer.
200
Roger, go
feet,
to altitude
go there.
2. Roger, turn 051.
Melders, what are you doing?
Turn to course.
Get out of the
Ahead
way.
flank. Maneuvering eye.
Never had that much trouble with formations, the other missions. Might be some mod causing it, I just don't know which mod could be responsible for that. I don't know. Odd. Very, very odd. This is these are what we call re-enlistment moments. You know, if the ship does a cool maneuver and there's a helo flying by in the back, and then there's a sunset and a seagull crashes through the camera lens, like this thing that you see and you think like, man, maybe I should re-enlist, you know. It was awesome. There were those times where you would think, man, what I'm doing is pretty damn awesome. Yeah, like this. Look at that. That's fucking awesome. No other way to describe it. That's pretty awesome. Return
to
formation.
station.
And now she does it. Very nice. Very nice. He's on the way. Very good. Very good indeed. We should probably link you the mission if you want to play it. Let me quickly find. You need a few other mods for it, obviously. That is not a problem. It's called Victors. There we go. But if you're watching this on YouTube, it will be in the description. There we go.
On station.
Oh, we are on station. In that case, drop to 20 feet.
Roger. Go to altitude 20.
And deploy.
Lower the VDS transducer. Sonar eye.
Nothing. This is the part where I wish I had like sonar buoys that I could drop, but I don't. Because obviously, like in this circle, there was nothing there when I was there. The sub might have sailed there in the meantime. I don't think it has because they are moving very, very slow, but it's possible. So yeah, that's the thing with your overview of the situation. All you ever do is you always have, it's always like a look in the past. Every information that you work with is not up to date.
Recover the VDS transducer.
Just a question of how old the information, the intel is that you have, whether or not it's still reliable. You have to determine that yourself. How long? 10 minutes, okay. And the second helo I'm probably gonna send eastwards of the old search area. Close the gap in there. Yeah. Yep, he's on the way. Very good. Wish I could color code them. Can I? Can I change the color of my drawings? Ah, last time I streamed this I had one of the devs in chat. That was awesome. I could have asked him. Not today though. Right. Still 8 minutes. Get out of here. kind of funny, yeah, how quiet it is. Just 3 ships cutting through the sea. But there is a submarine out there that wants to kill them. And there's already 2 graveyards on the map. Let's create a nice little moment.
On station. Roger. Go to altitude.
Look at that.
20.
I hate the summer for insects, man.
Lower the VDS
Got a
transducer.
very annoying fly in
Sonar
there.
eye.
Right, we have dipped and we don't hear anyone. How unfortunate. 6 minutes until the helo is ready for liftoff. So, new 3-mile circle. Right over here. I could lower it below there. Maybe they're down there. Let's do that. Because you never know.
Ahead
So let's give a
Maneuvering eye.
passive sonar check with the ships. Nope, nothing.
Ahead full. Maneuvering.
Standard is enough.
Ahead standard. Maneuvering eye.
5 minutes. Nothing here.
Recover the VDS transducer. Sonar eye. Roger. Turn 228.
We get
Roger.
over
Go to
there.
altitude 20.
And another dip.
0.
Oh, we can already change altitude, even with the dipper still below. That's funny. Ah, there it is. Being raised out of the water. There we go. And he's off. Very good. 3 minutes, 3.5. What's the fuel situation for him? Oh, he's got plenty. Okay. Okay. Endurance is still not an issue. Excellent. Task force will soon turn. Let's see if I have to micromanage the formation then. Meldas is probably going to be fine, but the Lütjens might have issues. Once again, great soundtrack. Absolutely brilliant. Returning. No, Lutyens,
Turn
that's
to
not
course.
what you should be doing.
Head full. Maneuvering aye.
Yep, Meldas is doing the right thing. Lutyens for some reason decided to just power down and put herself into the way of the Hamburg. Did she want her to pass and then go behind the stern? I mean, she could have, but it would make no sense. One and a half minute until he's ready for
On station.
go airborne. Up, helos on station, drop down to 20.
Roger. Go to altitude 20.
And deploy.
Lower the VDS transducer. Sonar aye.
That's going well, thank you for asking.
Sonar aye.
We have got 2 Victor-class submarines killed already. And it's just the third one that's eluding us. So we're doing all right. That's active, very good. But also here, no luck.
Ahead 2/3. Maneuvering aye. Returning to station.
Yep, he's returning, very good. And our helo should be ready to launch, yeah, in 20 seconds, perfect. Ah, speak of the devil. I just said that last time I streamed this I had a dev in, and there you are. Yes, I have modded. Well, this is a custom mission that I built. It's basically a rewrite of your original Charlie's mission. It's called Victorous, and it just puts in the 2 German destroyers that you had in the base game, and it replaces the core of the formation with the Sachsen class. Now these ships never saw service together, but they missed each other very, very closely, just by 1 or 2 years. So that in an alternative history scenario, it might be possible that they serve together. I said it earlier already. Funnily enough, these ships frequently are docked in the same port, because the Mölders is a museum ship, and it is also the home port of the Hamburg, which is Wilhelmshaven. Yeah, so they are very, very close to each other. Sometimes when you stand on the top deck, you can see into the old town, and you can actually see the Mölders. The distance right now might actually be the same, but they are not. They did not serve together. Yeah. So I have updated the mission, but I don't think I've updated it on the workshop yet. I did use another mod which introduced some sea life and whales and such, so that not automatically everything you spot on your sonar is automatically a submarine. You might get some contacts that are not actually targets. So that I still have to update. But apart from that, I'm very happy with the mission. And our second helo, off you go.
051.
And thanks for the follow. Yeah, I've been on this one many times. Last time with my friends from Great Britain, and then we got shouted at because the museum was closing. And we went in, and the lady said, just be mindful, we're gonna close soon. And it was in like 2 hours, and I was like, we'll be fine in 2 hours. But there was so much that I could talk and explain about the ships that it took us more than 2 hours, and then the lady got very, very angry with us. Sorry about that. Yeah, what I essentially wanted to do is I wanted to make a mission for the great F124 frigate mod. Yeah. So the enemies obviously aren't up to date, so she's kind of overpowered in this scenario. But, you know, it is what it is. Well, I just looked at the message. I just looked at whether or not you're a first-time chatter, and I saw 22 messages. I looked in and I was like, there he is. There he is. Nothing is beyond my comprehension. No, that's just a tad OP. Yeah. But then you could say that the frigates here are a bit UP, because you know. The destroyer, sorry, because you know the launcher is not that quick, and you know really the only thing that this ship has going for it is the S-Rock. Just gonna say it. Yeah, I played around a little bit when I was making this mission, and at some point I wanted to make it that you have an American fleet oiler or something in the middle, and that is a MEU, mission essential unit, and then you might have a British destroyer like Type 45 and an Ali Burke maybe, and I just realized that if you put a task force together out of a Sachsen class frigate and Ali Burke destroyer and a British Type 45 destroyer, you really have to add a lot of enemy threat to make the mission worthwhile playing, because the Ali Burke alone can do a hell of a lot of damage. She can put a lot of missiles in the air. The data branch, Let's hear it. Let's give us a little tease. Whatever. What's the stuff that you're most excited for?
Roger. Turn 041.
3.1. There we go. And we're gonna create another circle right here.
Roger. Turn.
And we're gonna get there.
035.
Now you've dipped here long enough. Recover.
Roger, go to altitude 200.
And we're gonna send you up here.
Roger, turn 347.
I'm at a point now where I'm wondering whether or not they just turned and ran after we sank their two friends. Three whales, new waypoint editing, tag views nearly wrapped up, and a whole set of missions including our first linear campaign. Hell yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm definitely gonna stream that. Very good. Really looking forward to the dynamic campaign, but you know, I'll take whatever you can throw at me. Linear campaign is fine. Really looking forward to it, and the three whales. That's good. That's very good. I'm definitely gonna add whales to this mission, because at the moment you spot a underwater contact and you immediately know it's a submarine. The only possible other thing it could be a neutral or a friendly submarine. But then again, friendly submarines you have under your control. So. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do another mission like this, but one where I'm not 100% copying yours. And I'm gonna put it in the way that if you kill a whale or something, that you get punished for it and stuff like that. It's gonna... I'm still figuring my way around the mission editor, because it is quite complicated, I have to say. Also, one thing I noticed, well, I've got you here, if I put a ship on the mission editor and I set their stores to depleted, for some reason they still have ammunition. Don't know if you know this. Because I did want to have a mission where the enemies have a spy ship monitoring you. Okay, like I can just spill the tea here. I was going to do a mission where we prevent Libya from mining the entrance to the Suez Canal in a Arabic Spring gone wrong kind of scenario, where Libya and Egypt are like basically a caliphate, and they mine the Suez Canal, and they are aligned with the Soviet Union, and the Soviet Union has a spy ship trailing your convoy, and I want it to be set as enemy, but I also don't want you to be able to sink it, because that would cause a international incident. So the problem I have with AI obviously is that if it's set to enemy, it's going to start shooting at me whenever I start the mission. So I wanted to take away all of her ammunition so that she can't do that. But I set the ship to depleted, and it still has full ammunition, and it immediately blasts missiles at me. So, and I don't want it to set to neutral, because I want the player to actually read the mission description. I want the player to, if they go in and they see a red contact on the map and they decide to fire missiles at it, I just want them to be punished for that.
Lower the VDS transducer. Transmit active sonar. Sonar eye.
There we go. Dip away, sir. And the other one. Drop down to 20
Roger,
feet.
go to altitude 20. Lower the
And
VDS
deploy.
transducer. Sonar eye.
And we're gonna let's go down to
Ahead
1/3.
Maneuvering eye.
Do a little hydrophone check. Passive sonar check. Play too much U-boat hydrophone check. Yeah, no. Not called that anymore. Nope, nothing.
Ahead 2/3.
We can probably stay
Ahead 1/3.
slow.
Maneuvering eye.
Yeah, nothing here.
Recover the VDS transducer. So, Roger, go to altitude 200. Roger, turn 3.
You go up here. You have also not... Ah, yeah, maybe we should turn it on.
Sonar.
As an idea.
Sonar eye.
Yeah, okay, cool. Nice. Good to hear. That kind of put my whole mission on hold there.
Recover the VDS transducer. Sonar eye.
So he's gonna... Yeah, he's gonna
Roger,
continue
turn 218.
monitoring west. There we go. Drop to 200.
Roger, go to altitude 200.
Now if he's somewhere like here, I'm gonna be very, very mad. To be fair though, like the submarines were oriented like this. The links on the east side should be the one to find him. Don't think he's so far west. I mean, I built the mission, I should know, but I don't, apparently. Yeah, you do, and I'm excited for it. And what I have to say is, with like the overall framework that you built around, with all these ships and the sensor and the data that has already flowed into this game, like you have an amazing like groundwork that you can build up on. Like there's still a lot of potential in this, and it's gonna be exciting to watch that. And I'm down for it, man. It's the only naval game with that features missile combat. That's the advantage that you have. You have literally no competition, pretty much. Because everybody else is just excited about big guns, and that's everything that there is on the market at the moment. Missiles are very underrepresented. It's always funny when you have tourist groups or something on board, or when you do an open ship in for like the Kiel week or something. And people are always standing in front of the gun. They always look at the gun, and I always chuckle when I see that. Like, you have absolutely no idea how unimportant this thing actually is. We rarely use it for anything. It is if you have to use the gun, then everything else is pretty much gone wrong. Or gone extremely right if you force a submarine to surface or something, but apart from that, man, we don't really use the gun.
Recover the VDS transducer. Sonar eye.
Nothing here. Let's do another.
On station. Roger. Turn 109.
Other helo reports
Roger,
on
go
station.
to altitude 200.
Yep.
Roger, go to
Go
Roger,
down.
go to altitude 20. Lower the VDS transducer. Sonar eye. Transmit active sonar. Sonar eye.
Nope. Still nothing. I should probably use some compression at this point.
Recover the
Yeah,
VDS
let's get him over to
Turn
the other side as well,
106.
because I don't think he's going to be that far west.
On station. Lower the VDS transducer. Transmit active sonar. Sonar eye.
Nothing. Okay. So. Come on, let me pick up that thing. There we go.
Roger. Turn. Roger. Roger. Turn 17. Recover the VDS transducer. Sonar eye. Roger. Turn 111.
You go over there. And then I'll drop another. Right. Yeah.
Roger. Turn 161. Roger. Go to altitude. Contact faded. Track 7002.
Worth my weight in gold. Yeah. There's a whole week dedicated to the Navy where you can tour ships. LHD, what is that? What is what's LHD? Also, what city is that? I know, don't dox yourself, but I would be excited to hear that.
New surface contact detected.
Okay. So I'm just gonna send the Mulders over there.
Turn to course. 0. Ahead flank.
Maybe we can
Maneuvering
lure the...
eye.
Ah, one of those. Yeah, okay. Landing helicopter deck. Interesting. Oh, like the amphibious assault ships. Yeah, gotcha. I had no idea they were called LHDs.
Roger, go to altitude 2 on station. Lower the VDS
Yeah, I gathered
transducer.
that.
Sonar eye.
Southern side of the USA. Southern... Okay. Huh. So I only know Mayport in Florida and Norfolk in Virginia. I've been to both of those. And Mayport, Florida was amazing because they had fucking dolphins in the naval base. I've never seen anything like that.
Transmit active sonar. Sonar eye.
Nothing.
Recover the VD. Roger. Turn 0. Roger. Go to altitude 2 0 0.
Now where did that sneaky submarine go? Because then, you know, in the back of my mind there's always the possibility that the mission just didn't trigger the end correctly and I'm actually looking for nothing here. But I don't think that's ever happened, so...
Lower the VD. On station. Transmit active sonar. Sonar. Lower the VDS transducer. Sonar eye.
Viking ships, hell yeah. There's a few cool things that I've seen on the workshop. Like one dude made the entire Falklands campaign.
Sonar eye.
And there's a mission where you have to do several things that happened during the Falklands War. Absolutely amazing. So, you guys are dipping and pinging away, and there's nothing there. Let's see further away.
Recover the VD. Roger. Turn 350. Roger.
Also, I did
Turn
notice your new
0
night mode on the
2.
map. I like that a lot. Very good addition. Only thing now that I'm missing is different colored pencils. Because I would want to make my circles in a certain color to know that I've already been there. You know, like green, I've already been there. Red, I haven't done this one yet. But that's like details. And also that would kind of probably not work with the night mode. And we found nothing. Very good. Well, not good. It is what it is.
Recover the VDS. Roger. Turn 105. Roger. Turn 093.
I also love on the workshop, like the Germans seem to be very active in the modding. Just common thing for Germans, just find an online game and completely take over the community. In the 2020s, I think. Yeah, someone modded in the... Where is it? Where is it? Let me look for it. There we go. The Type 127 air defense frigate. Like, but currently we just introduced the 125. The 226 is being built and we haven't seen them yet. And the 127 is still a concept. Like, but in sea power, she's already there. So like, with that, it's pure guesswork whether or not the ship's good or not. Yeah. Night mode definitely helps with those late night gamers. Hell yeah, it's really good. I really appreciate that addition.
Roger, go to altitude 200.
Oh, come on, let me find the last sub.
New surface contact detected. Ahead 1/3.
Let's do a hydrophone passive sonar check with him.
On station.
Nothing. Let's wait for it to slow down fully. On station, very good. Drop down the
Lower the VDS
The
transducer.
VDS transducer.
Sonar
Yeah,
eye.
that is a word. I said it earlier. I've been on ships for, well, 12 years, and I've never heard the term VDS transducer. For us, that was always just a dipping sonar. I didn't know what a transducer was. I had to Google that.
Recover the Roger. Turn 293.
But I can absolutely believe Hilo personnel throwing that term around just to sound smart.
Roger. Go to altitude 200. Track 7028 is classified. Neutral merchant.
Yeah, I know. I have, I've already updated this mission to include whales from the workshop. Like there's one group to the northwest, one to the west, and one to the southwest, with a spawn chance. I think like one is 2, one is 3, one is 1, and they have a spawn chance of 60% each, or something like that.
Lower the VDS
Just so that there's a little bit more going on the subsurface area. But apparently I did not update the mod in the workshop, and therefore it's not in the mission. I'll probably do that after stream.
Lower the VDS transducer. Sonar eye.
We do love semantics. Like, I've met so many people, like especially in the lower enlisted, who were like, whenever they learned a new term or something like that, and then they would throw it around and be almost offended when the other side didn't know that. Like some of them were acting so high and mighty and smart. Yeah, that's one of the things that was interesting about the military. Being lower enlisted in the beginning was definitely something that was good for my development as a young man. Because you get thrown into, you get paired with people who you would otherwise never ever meet, and you have to kind of work together and figure out a way to get through day to day without punching them in the face, which is the biggest challenge.
Roger, go to altitude 20. Lower the VDS transducer. Sonar eye.
Where is our sub? Jesus, can you believe how much I've already dipped?
Recover the beat. Roger. Turn 105. On station. Roger. Turn 109.
Torpedo in the water. So he's somewhere along this line. Nice that I do this coordinated search and I find him
Turn 272.
with none of that.
Roger. Turn 265. Transmit active sonar. Sonar eye. Multiple hostile submerged submarine. Contacts detected. Multiple hostile submerged submarine. Contacts detected.
Task force is in danger. Flank speed.
Contact faded.
Well, that's you stay here.
Ahead
1/3.
Maneuvering eye.
So we got a second torpedo
Contact faded.
somewhere
Track
here.
7030. Turn to course 01. I'll stop. Maneuvering eye.
There's a lot of torpedoes in the water. So these ones were sent towards the task force, I assume. So he has to be somewhere there. Just outside where I checked. Isn't that crazy?
Contact faded. Track 7030.
And I would have never found him because I did not think he was this far west.
6, 6.
Okay, so we're gonna continue our grid. Send this helicopter right here.
Roger, turn 259.
And another search area right here. And that's where we're gonna send the second helicopter.
Roger, turn 225. Turn to course 0. Ahead 1/3. Maneuvering aye.
Okay. Makes me wonder if they just left the AO. Well timed, eh? Just the second you hit enter on that message, we spot torpedoes. That's how they get you. The second you feel safe, man. That's how they get you.
Ahead 1/3. Maneuvering aye.
Now the hull-mounted sonar on the Sachsen class, on the Hamburg in this case, is very powerful. So it's gonna spot them right away. There we go. This torpedo.
Contact faded. Track 703.
Yeah, it's something like this. So they're somewhere over there. Interesting that the Mölders doesn't spot them though. 5 miles? Where is the hull-mounted sonar? There you go. 13 kilometers active range.
Turn to course 020. Hell my.
Yeah, okay. Formation edit. Lutyens, you can get on the other side again.
Contact faded. Track
No need for you to cross the bow
703.
or the stern.
Contact faded. Track 7030. Ahead 1/3. Maneuvering aye.
Two of them, okay.
Contact faded. Track 7033.
Right, they're nearly in position. Look at that. Swiss cheese on the map here. Might be below the layer too, because the Mölders is not picking up when he should be right there. Maybe he shot both of his torpedoes, or all 6 of his torpedoes, and just dipped below the surface, below the thermal layer. Could be. Could very well be the case. I would have done that. Still not gonna get away from me though. Yeah, absolutely. Although
New surface contact detected.
we had different tools. We had like moving havens and stuff like that that we could use. And mostly you'd use a little. We'd have a little clipboard or something in the center of the bridge that we would put the relevant information on, like contacts, range, and distance, and all that. Obviously, everything like. I assume in the CIC they would absolutely have maps like this, and then a very much a cleared up thing. Very much.
Torpedo in the water.
Yeah.
Torpedo in the water. Bearing 3.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, originating exactly from where I thought he is. That's an USET, I don't like that.
Turn to course.
Get away from it.
Ahead flank. Secure active sonar. Sonar eye.
Obviously the area of only the most relevant information gets passed up the chain of command, so you'd not see this amount of drawing. But I think the CIC Helo controller, they probably have something like that. Now you did pick up the torpedo, but not the sub. Okay, so I'm gonna... What if you go below layer?
On station.
You drop your dip.
Lower the VDS transducer. Torpedo in the water. Torpedo in the water. Bearing 20.
Oh, that could be dangerous for the task force, so you're gonna turn away as well, and you're gonna pick up speed a little bit.
Standard. Maneuvering eye.
No luck below the layer.
Contact faded. Track
You also don't spot him. Okay, maybe 3 miles was a bit too
Recover the VDS transducer.
optimistic.
Sonar eye.
Oh, very good.
Roger. Turn.
Yeah, I found
292.
torpedoes are very, very ineffective in this game at the point, because all you have to do really is slow down and you'll hear them coming miles away. Just something I did notice. They only ever catch you off guard if you've got another threat to fight. You know, you're in an air defense battle and suddenly there's a torpedo 500 meters up your starboard bow, then there's nothing you can do about it. But submarines by themselves, not very dangerous at the moment. Unless, of course, you've got... Yeah, if you're on a timer, if you have to get to a certain location within an allotted time frame, and you cannot afford to go down to 1/3, that's a problem. There we go, recovering.
Roger. Turn 29. Roger. Go to altitude. Roger.
So I expect him to be
30.
exactly on where those two lines cross. Right there.
Roger. Turn 29.
Let's see how good my deduction skills were there. And you can also
Recover the
cover,
VDS
because I'm gonna
transducer.
use you
Sonar
to
eye.
fire. Or... No, I'm gonna use ASRock, just because it's so fucking cool.
Turn to course. 313.
The fact that we don't have ASRock anymore really rubs me the wrong way. Such a funny weapon system. Right, here we are. Get ready to drop down to 20 and create a very, very cool helicopter moment that you will tell us about for 5 years, because that's how helicopter people are.
On station. Roger. Go to altitude.
Look at that, so damn badass.
Contact faded. Track 703. Lower the VDS transducer. Sonar eye. New submerged submarine.
There he
Contact
is.
detected.
How far off was I? 1.6 miles, I'll take it. Right, he's off to our starboard. Is he in range? Yes, he is. Okay, we're gonna send 2 and then 2 a bit short, just in case the first ones go over his head.
Engage track 7. Whip it away. Track 7. Roger that.
And then I'm just gonna assume that he's fired more at us, so I'm gonna turn towards him.
018. Hell mine. Roger. Go to altitude. Roger. Turn 082.
Yeah, exactly. It's a brilliant system. Like unless he's got periscope on you, he won't know that you even shot at him. So the torpedo drops into the sea right next to you and there's nothing you can do anymore. It's a brilliant idea. What I'm a bit surprised by when I saw this is that the ASRock has a missile range of 6 miles. And that seems tiny to me. Like, if we had modern ASRock systems, I'm assuming they would have a range of fucking 20, 40 miles. Something like this. Actually, the Ali Berg still has ASRock in their VLS system. I have to check the range on that. Maybe I'll do that after the mission. Yeah, I'll have a quick look in the mission, in the encyclopedia, and I'm gonna have a look at the range of that ASRock. Sploosh! Oh yeah, we know that he's hostile because there was torpedoes coming from him.
Roger, turn 071. Roger, turn 0.
And just to round it all off, I'm gonna send you to Mark 46 as well. And he's immediately dropping noisemakers. Oh, the position seems off because the noisemaker... Oh no, the position of the noisemaker is off. They seem to be locked on though. Huh? I think they went overhead. Good thing we sent more. And this one's locked on.
Contact faded. Track 70. Hit track.
There we go. Oh, the Kilo class. Yeah, sure. Yeah. I said I put 2 Victors and a Kilo class in because those are the only ones that are still in service in 2003. Thank you, game. I think that was a good job. Especially the coordinated search in the end, even though we searched in the completely wrong place. We still almost found them. He was just outside where we looked. I could have had him on the very, very first dip. I just went like half a mile too far north. Damn it! Oh well, still won though. But again, it's unfair. I built the mission. I knew it was what I was expecting. So yeah, if you want to play this yourself, you have to just go in the Steam Workshop. It's called Victors. You find it easier if you look under the single mission and in the 2000s. And then you can play this. You need a few mods for this, because obviously the F-124 frigate requires a few prerequisites like the new threat update and all that good stuff. But it's not that hard to install. So let's have a quick look at the Ali Berg. I want to look at her ASRock. Thank you, Zell. Thank you very much. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that I'm sure the 6 miles was the best that they could do at the time, but I think nowadays they probably can do a lot better. We want to look at a guided missile destroyer. Daring class? No. Is that just called a missile destroyer? What is it? Missile cruiser? Cal map? Oh, it's with A, so it's going to be on the top. Where are we? Class? No. Ali Berg class. There we go. And we're gonna use the oldest version of her. Look at her. That's the funny thing with American destroyers and American ships. Like their mast structure, their signal mast, they're so pronounced. When you see something, when you see that bit coming over the horizon, you immediately know that's an American. You can just tell.
Course 0 ahead full.
They're always
Maneuvering eye.
very much rigged as well. Their design philosophy. Okay, what do we have? Yeah, 50 SM2s. Sure. See, what I told you about earlier about the misconception that the Sachsen class is actually a destroyer. This is a destroyer. Just have a look at what the, like, fucking 32 Tomahawks on that. Like, the German Sachsen class is not comparable to this. It's just not. And this one does not have... Yeah, it does have ASRock. There we go. 8 of them. With a mile of 13 miles, so that's already double. Not bad. Where's the menu thing? There, no. There we are. Destroyer. Let's take the newest one, F3. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, she does. She's a good-looking one. Very, very good-looking ship. Well, that update up here, the little box up there, that's not really that good-looking, but they did the best with what they had. And American ships, man, if you ever toured them, the American sailors were so jealous when they went on board of our ship, because American ships are not built with the crew in mind. They just look at where they can put the sensors, where they can put the CIC, the bridge, and the weapons. And then when the ship's almost finished, they realize, oh god damn it, the crew! We need to have living spaces for the crew. And then they just squeeze the crew somewhere. And man, living conditions on these ships are not fun. And when they entered our mess deck and realized that we have a fucking bar in there, they were so jealous. And when they saw our crew quarters, that we all have like a little cupboard and a wardrobe, not a wardrobe, what's it called, a locker, like a decently sized locker, and an actual bed, and not like these fucking cubicles that they have. Man, they were so jealous. Half of them wanted to desert right then. Right, Ezrock, where are we? There, 6 of them, not 8, and 13 miles. Okay, they did update that. What else do we have on this? 30 SM2s. Oh, 24 SM6. Yeah, we don't have those yet. 260 nautical miles range. Right, okay. That's actually insane. ESSMs, yeah, for short range self-defense against fighters or ships, sure. 32 Tomahawks. Okay, Azrock. And then 16 torpedoes. They have those triple launchers as well? Yeah, they do. And then, yeah, Mark 45 gun. The R2-D2, although they did remove the R2-D2 from the bow. That I noticed earlier. They just have one R2-D2 now. Probably realized that if you need to use that system, everything else has failed anyway, so you might as well increase the effectiveness of the other systems, which they did by putting on fucking SM2s and SM6s out the ass. Very, very, very nice. Yeah, now I'm jealous. Like, weapon combat effectiveness and combat value wise, these ships are just so much above our pay grade. Hercules class. What the hell is the Hercules class? Not real. What's this? Oh, it's a fictional VLS battleship. Okay. So it has ram launchers? Where are those located? Oh, they're on the side, okay. Yeah. There's a ram, there's a ram. Wow, that is... okay. RGM 109? Elam? Tomahawk land attack missile? Yeah, sure. 16 harpoon. 5 Azrock. 13.8 miles again. And then 16 harpoon. Did I already count those? Yes. And offensive ECM, yeah, sure. Yeah, naturally. Like, that's realistic. 69. Ah, nice. I see what you did there. Did I not shoot them out? I don't know. I need a track for that. Okay.
Weapon error. No No track assigned.
Yeah, crazy thing. Maybe maybe I'll build a mission for that. That is sick. I like what if scenarios, I have to say. I do like them. Okay, but that's gonna be it for today. I'm gonna check in with you guys soon. Keep the channel alive with U-boat and Sea Power, and then once I've got my treadmill sorted out and my PC, my new old PC sorted out, and the move behind me, then I'm gonna be back on the VR treadmill, and we're gonna continue the weight loss journey. Thank you guys for tuning in. Drop a like and a follow if you want to. And yeah, I'll see you guys around. You're absolutely welcome, Zell. Absolutely. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.